Yeah, it's
All
something
right.
early here as well. It's like 6 a.m. or something as well. So.
Oh, whoa. Cool.
So yeah, so Josh, it's all yours. You got about 30 minutes to have a Q&A with anybody that's in here right now and show some of your mastermind skills. I'm also going to record it so you can have a look at it as we grow, and that
Awesome.
You're growing as an opportunity to spread your love out here in Canada, but this will be internationally growing every Sunday.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Leanne, for hosting this and putting it all together as well. So I'll quickly just give you a little bit about my background, just so you know a little bit about me, what I do. So for the last 10 or so years, I've been a professional performer throughout the UAE. When I was back in Australia, I was performing and doing tours around doing like things like drums and guitar and harmonies and stuff like that for guys on X Factor. And we would perform throughout the Australia. We go to America, Europe, and all sorts of stuff and tour. I got based in Dubai for a little while, for 6.5 years, pretty much. And when I first got here, I started up my own agency. So I started contracting various different hotels by myself and just putting artists and different dancers and DJs and stuff like that throughout the entire UAE. And I kind of realized that I hated micromanaging artists. And I started to slowly let that agency kind of die down because I just really wasn't enjoying it, right? And self-development had been something that I'd already been doing for probably 8 or 9 years, just because I was always fascinated. I kind of grew up as a very, very shy, introverted sort of person with I was very overweight, terrible teeth, no friends, bullied, did homeschooling, lots of stuff, just because, I had zero confidence. So self-development for me was the path for me to try and understand myself. And then I started to be able to, I was just getting asked questions by other people, advices and lots of stuff as well, passively. So I was accidentally kind of coaching pretty much my whole life from when I was in school and that sort of stuff as well. And until I kind of realized that music wasn't fulfilling me. I found that music was kind of drowning me in a lifestyle of anxiety and alcohol and, just trying to be accepted and seek validation from other people, right? So coaching became a bit of a, it was giving me what I didn't get from music. I thought that music was giving me fulfillment, but it was more just giving me, a stroke of my ego, whilst at the same time, being very unhealthy for me. So I always loved learning, and I just loved the whole process about learning, but I always realized I couldn't retain the information. So I'd be listening to podcasts on the way to work, or I'd be learning new different courses, reading books and stuff all the time. I couldn't stop, but I wasn't able to retain any information. So I started to find memory techniques and learning strategies so that I was able to start to actually comprehend and understand the information better, be able to memorize ridiculous amounts of information really, really easily, and then start to be able to pass that knowledge on to other people as well. And with that, I've also done a bunch of other NLP, CBT, goals coaching, life coaching, habit coaching, just because I'm fascinated by it. And recently did sports nutrition as well. So I just really am passionate about anything to do with self-development, anything that I can learn about, I love learning about. And where I can help any other people is where my kind of passion lies. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything so far, feel free to shoot them through and I'll answer the best I can.
Yeah, do you mind if I ask a couple questions?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. I loved your story. Wow, you're very good at expressing that story.
Thank you.
It's beautiful for sure. Yeah, I love the whole journey, and it sounds like you were kind of approaching the self-help industry with the same tenacity as somebody might approach like a high that they're chasing, but then you grounded it. You grounded it by learning the technique. So it feels like that was the grounding component. Is that right? They kind of really.
I would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
I think it always came from a place of lacking though as well. I would always try and find what the answer to try and broken. But nowadays it's like I have to let go and completely allow a new personality shape. Essentially, now I've learned more about the brain. It's more like I can let go of those old past personalities and use the information to help others.
Okay, so you're saying it was coming from lack before, and now it feels like you're. My sense is like you're really building on solid ground. Like whatever that was hole got covered up, and you're literally building on a solid foundation now. It feels like. How long has that been? Would you say since that transition from just like trying to fill a void to actually building something sustainable?
I'd say the last probably 2 to 3 years. You know, everyone's still like developing and stuff. But yeah, I'd say the last 2 to 3 years for me. I think the biggest hit was after I had a very toxic relationship, and through that entire process until it's probably 26, 27. That was kind of like the point for me where I was like, okay, it's time to just completely take control of personality type. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's exponential. Like you kind of hit a certain point and it's like, I think I get it now, you know.
Oh, for
All the
sure.
information kind of comes together, and it's like every single piece of information I learn, it's like you're playing music, but just a different genre, you know, all the information is the same, but it's just expressed differently. So I'm like, okay, it finally connects. It makes sense now. You know?
For sure. I get that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
cliches are turned into understanding, I guess.
Yeah, like probably just like your level of belief in it probably felt like so real. Like, oh my God, this actually isn't just BS. Wow. Cool.
It's like if you're actually consistent, it actually changes you, you know.
Do you mind if I ask one more question real quick?
Please, go for it.
So my sense is that, so for 2 or 3 years you've been doing it, and it sounds like you've attained some level of like, you know, mastery is like a strong word, but you're really making it work. Like it's really practical, and you have a lot that you can share now with other people, is my sense, right? And so is your question like, how can I do that? Is that like the next question? Or like, are you already doing that? Are you already sharing it with people and making that work?
I think I'm already sharing it now. My whole thing now is to be able to simplify the information to a point that pretty much anyone can understand it. You know, like if you can't explain it and express it easily, it means you don't kind of grasp the idea yourself as well. Yeah. So my whole journey lately has been to be able to express the idea into a point where anyone can understand, essentially. So I'm already doing the coaching and stuff because I've kind of transitioned out of music essentially, and now it's just coaching. But yeah,
it feels like you're a wonderful coach. I'm happy about what you're doing.
Thank you.
Awesome. I'm gonna zipper my mouth for a little bit, but thank you for answering these questions.
Thank you for asking away as well.
Yeah, I think Josh, what you could do now that people are aware, like John just coming into the network, he's somebody who's pretty much at a very similar level reflection with what I've done and what he's doing. So I'm bringing in some bigger network branches from a different part of the world right now. He's from Florida. But I think, you know, Jaya and Daniel, they're both two masterminds also in their business. And I think you have a lot of skills that you have to offer all of us. I know that I'm here to make sure that I represent you and support you. And I go through enough with promoting you, but I think these guys might want to pick your brain and get some of your methodologies.
Yeah, I'd love to answer any questions that you guys might have in terms of like, I don't know, accelerated learning or memory training or habit change, productivity, blah, 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 pretty much.
Yeah.
What do you guys have any questions?
I'd love to ask a question in that direction, if you wouldn't mind.
Awesome. Absolutely.
So I'll give you a little bit of an overview where I'm at. A couple of years ago, I decided to rebrand. I've been teaching voice as a touring independent musician myself for a long time because I never cracked the code on making money with the touring. I would teach voice workshops while I traveled and get a lot of fulfillment out of watching, you know, beginner singers or people who are comfortable or people who public speak but want to get more comfortable working with them with an embodied sort of holistic approach to the voice. My intention since the beginning of this pandemic and maybe even before was to get that course online and to start trying to monetize that joy, because I'm finding myself so working so flat out as a carpenter renovator that I'm not having enough time to put into building that course. Got some technological obstacles, and then my laptop just broke, and it's not a great time to replace it. But I also just feel like a level of stagnance, like I wasn't able to just move forward, and I'm not sure how to approach that right now.
I see. It's a cool story as well. But how much do you charge for private? Do you do private sessions, by the way?
Yeah, I do.
Do you do private coachings? Yeah. How much do you charge for the client?
Sliding scale, $40 to $50 an hour.
Okay. So what I've learned with private coaching is to set packages over a few months.
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, you're just getting somebody a result. And if you're doing hourly sort of coaching, then you can't really assure the result.
Yeah. True.
So if you're able to do packages, you're able to work with fewer people, but to make more money, so you get more time to be able to do to put into the course. So if you were to charge, say, $500 a month per client, or up to $1,000, some like I've charged around $1,000 a month for a couple of clients, and they'll stay with you for 3 to 6 months essentially.
Right.
And realistically, you only need a few of those to be sustainable. So then it's just about getting your message out and attaching the pain points to be able to, you know, say, here's how I can help you, and here's how I know that I can help you, and charging them a package rate, I would say, to do that, so that you can at least have a bit more time to be able to put in the business online.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yeah. I hope that helps at all, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do business coaching, right? And so I could say, like, what Josh said is perfect advice. That's definitely the truth. You have to sell a solution to a problem. So if you can figure out a solution that takes several months to build and costs several $1,000s, that's kind of the key, is you have to create it around a solution that's a little bit bigger than just your time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get it. Thank you.
But I'd be interested to know, like, what are the inner obstacles that are coming up, Jai? Jai?
Yeah, for me, Jai. Yeah.
I think that's what Josh could help you with even more, probably, is those things. I'm just interested to hear that part of it.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about that this afternoon, and I was like, how hot seat do I want to get on this? I mean, the obstacles are a slight aversion to technology. Like, I really value over the years. I've been facilitating all kinds of transformational experiences for most of my adult life, you know, on the side of what I've often been doing professionally. And I've never really thought about it as, oh, I want to monetize and be a full-time coach. But that's one aspect of my life that I really enjoy. I really enjoy seeing, you know, people commit to shifting their expression and coming more into their full expression and feeling alive with even the small and modest gains that they make in that realm. The obstacles seem to be that slight aversion to technology, and I had a lot of stuff going on during COVID. So when my laptop died, it's really not quite a good time to reinvest in a new one, and I feel like that was holding me back a bit. But honestly, I can do most of what I need to do coaching wise from a phone. But several other people who teach online have said you really should just invest in a new laptop, get started.
And if it's not the exact right time, you could wait a few weeks to get it. But at the end of the day, you'll probably need to replace it. It will make life a bit easier. You can set it up from the phone, absolutely. Otherwise, you can get people, if the issue is hesitation and aversion towards technology, you can always hire people on Upwork, which are really, really cheap, like $5 to $10 an hour sort of thing. And they'll do very, very good work. So like anything, if we avoid it, odds are we're seeing as a big overarching theme, which is unapproachable, right? So we don't know how to get into the idea. So we've complicated it, and complexity is the path to overwhelm. So if we want to be able to approach any idea that overwhelms us or we avert from, then we want to be able to just make it the smallest possible entry point of what it is. So even if that is just putting out a feeler on something like Upwork or freelance.com, where you can go, hey, want to put together this, what's it going to cost me, like for how many hours, over how much time, just because I'm not good at the technology side. So you can take that hesitation away from your mind. Because if your mind's hesitating, it just means you really don't want to do it. And why would you do something you don't want to do, realistically?
Outsource.
Yeah, outsource.
Great.
So outsource the shit you don't want to do, allow your brain to not be hesitant towards it. And if you do from it, then you can just do a 2-minute rule. So 2 minutes is like, what are the first 2 minutes of any given task? If you're going for a run, don't think about the run. Focus on getting your shoes on and getting you out the door, putting the key in the back of the door so that you can just get out of there, rather than focusing on, fuck, I'm going to run 15 miles today. Because that's eating the elephant. The 2 minutes is eating the bite. You know, how do you eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So how do you take away as much of the friction from the task as possible?
Wow,
Yeah.
that's useful actually to think about that way. Totally. Thanks.
Yeah. Awesome. Is there any sort of other things that are coming up for you when I'm talking about this?
Not at the moment, but I'm sure, you know, yeah, if anything else comes to the surface, I'll bring it up.
Awesome. Yeah. Please do.
Yeah.
JR, you know, another thing, guys, you know, in the network, because you guys have been amazing growing with me for the last year as I've been having these highly intuitive visions about how to bring this all together, how to get to the next week, how to have another idea, right? The more important thing is that you guys have each other. This is why I'm not giving up on anybody in the group right now, is I want this to go deeper. What I've learned from 25 years of meditation, get deeper in your friendships, get deeper in your connections. 10 years with Andrew Resmer, millionaire, fucking, I don't know, 6,000 properties, right? He had that all hidden, and we ran Conscious Living Radio. I did like at least, you know, 20 to 30 different amazing events, up to 100,000 people, and just did that as a single mother, 13 houses, so many things. You got to just jump. And I want you guys to go deeper. And I believe that if we go deeper together, we can transform that into other areas of our business. That's what this hot seat's about.
Love it.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, I think you guys can both join my mastermind if you want to. I
Love
do
to.
hot seats every week. I think that'd be
Awesome.
fun. You guys both seem amazing. I'd love to connect with you both.
Yeah, I'd love to as well, man. That'd be really cool.
Yeah,
Daniel's on here too.
John has a Wednesday offering, something to be aware of that's going to come into our network too. He has his Wednesdays. That is his Wings Mastermind portal, where he helps his clients make money in certain ways. And he's got a wonderful story. It's going out in the network tonight. Daniel, we need to hear from you, you beautiful soul. You amazing leader as a male energy. He's another network builder who's in my brother from another mother. But bring it out, get a little bit vulnerable and open up yourself, because I think you've got a lot here. You can pick Josh's brain for the next little while.
You're muted, Daniel.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I have a couple questions. I really like the way how you carry yourself. I appreciate what you've been sharing. John and Jai, nice to be here, man. Josh, thanks, man. Just wanted to look at you while I'm talking. Yeah, so
Nice to meet you, man.
I know I'm a body worker and breath worker. Like, I'm a multi-potentialite. I do a lot of different things. Thank you so much, Leanne, for organizing, continuing to do this, and believing in the power of community and keeping these. It's a bit of a strange time right now. So I do life coaching as well, and I'm creating an emotional intelligence mastery course right now, and I'm kind of doing like an incubator group style thing, but I really like packaging more deals. And of course, my bodywork and breathwork practice is slowed. It's still continuing, but it's really kind of a time of repackaging, and like I'm almost finished Russell Brunson's book, and just learning how to do all internet. Like, it's a lot to learn for sure. I'm slowly progressing, but having a whole infrastructure basically online. I have a website, and I really fully believe in what I do, but I'd say that I'm kind of someone that really deals on almost like a like a psychic medium approach, that I can help with someone on a very deep level, from family to relationships to intimacy to spirituality to knowing your purpose as a man to masculinity and femininity and knowing those different dynamics. So I'm a bit of a broad-based approach, but kind of the wise one. And that's kind of, I've been known to be trusted, basically. So I'm building my business in the first year. I started my business called Awaken Living. I'm becoming a professional actor right now. I'm halfway through a program. And so that's all going entwined with creating a media company. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I'm really wanting to get to gritty issues and explaining those issues through media. And that's actually going to propel my whole life coaching practice. And so content videos are coming into place, and then I'm lining up. You can get these third world, this is good for any guy that's I'm not sure, you can get these workers that are from third world countries that are into tech, that do like thumbnails and different work with you on a very personal level as an entrepreneur for tech stuff, marketing. It's called iWorker. And it's basically like $6 an hour. And that is very good value for them in their country. And that like you're supporting them. So it's something that I'm setting up to do my service through. But anyway, that's basically a current revision of what's going on right now. On the beautiful Sunshine Coast, Half Moon Haven right now. And Josh, I appreciate this hot seat idea. So what is kind of that about? Is that I ask you questions and you kind of finding out what I'm about?
Yeah.
Or I kind of like that approach personally. Like I handle very well under pressure, and I kind of am just like a locomotive and I just kind of continue on. And I like that the packaging monthly and working with clients on a long-term basis is something that I'm wanting to transition into more. I, again, only work with clients. And like, I'm talking, I've worked like, I taught someone UK, like over a Zoom video, how to do self-massage techniques, to helping someone in Vancouver. There was like with a crisis in relationship. So I can help in a broad-based way by knowing the emotional trigger and the coping mechanism and helping empower them through like breath work, but like how to get through any crisis, and also knowing that our kinks and our trauma define our purpose, as far as I know, as like those are our gifts and those end up being our best strengths because we have lived experience to know how to help another through it. And all that relatability is basically all that changes people's lives. It's like just the chemical frequency of knowing another person have been through something and then relating to it so strongly, we can help carry and support each other in a very unique way. But it's an ability to connect with someone on a very deep level, and only so many people are ready to pierce that surface already. So kind of going into some mixed dynamics here, but Josh, if you want to get into this hot seat idea and what you bring into the table, because I really want to support what you're doing and I appreciate being here.
Sure, thank you. Are there any sort of specific questions you had to ask? I picked up a couple things maybe.
Like branding and marketing on your package deals, working with those long-term clients, asking for like maybe $1,000, you know, so you're working with them, let's say maybe once or twice a week on an hour or two basis, Zoom call or in person, in Vancouver area kind of thing. So that would be my one specific. How do you do that? You just put it on your website? Are you doing Facebook marketing or Instagram marketing?
So wherever you kind of have gotten your clients in the past is probably the good place to start, whether it's Facebook or it's Instagram, as long as you're consistent. But the most crucial element is to make sure you know exactly who you're talking to. Because when a lot of time when we want to, you know, there's a lot of people that I've seen that want to scale coaching courses and stuff like that. But they're talking to a very broad dynamic of people. But if you help everybody, you kind of help nobody. And so getting the exact client where it's like, I can go through their day from the moment they wake up, their first thoughts, until they go to sleep, and being that specific about the person you're speaking to, so that becomes your marketing strategy, rather than worrying too much about what the aesthetics are, you know, getting the actual wording that, you know, what are their problems that they face in the daytime and how ready are they to change. You know, I think the metaphor is like, if somebody was going on a hike and they have a few liters of water, do they stock up on the town they're at right now, or where it's like it's pretty cheap water, or they wait until they go to the next town where they're going to be out of water and they will pay significantly more because they need the water or something like that, right? So getting the people who are ready to pay and who are ready to pay more, but knowing their specific pain points, specific, like the moment they wake up to go to sleep. So the easiest way might be to write down the people you've already worked with in the past. If it's somebody who's like relatively similar industries, relatively similar walks of life, you can use those as sort of like a client avatar or something. I hate that word personally, but but using client avatars, it's like 3 to 5 separate different people that you're speaking to only, like total. And that will naturally start to spread the branches anyway. So Really defining who that sort of person is before even trying to market it. Because then if you're going to start doing Facebook ads and stuff, you'll waste the money because the wording isn't correct for who you're speaking to.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I'd suggest that.
For sure.
Do you mind if I add in a couple things?
Please. Yeah.
Please,
I like your,
this is your area of expertise.
around,
Well,
finding a solution to a problem.
It's perfect advice that you just received. I would just add also, your website isn't going to do the selling for you generally. So like whatever platform you choose, try to have direct connection, direct contact with your audience. And by getting a rough general picture of who they are, that is good, but then just talk to more people, keep talking to people. And in those conversations, they will teach you who they are. They will teach you their pain points. They'll teach you the program that they want. Does that make sense? So like, don't be afraid. A lot of people hide behind technology. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make in the beginning is they build a wall of technology, like a website or a funnel in between them and their client. And that's just not going to work unless you're a master of marketing and you have a lot of validation and then maybe even social proof and a big name, like then, okay, fine, you can do it. But still, it doesn't really work at high ticket prices anyway. So if you want to charge $1,000 and you're masterful at marketing, okay, your website maybe could do a good job if you create a webinar. But if you're going to sell at 5,000 or something, you're going to have to talk to people. So you might as well just start talking to people. That's my advice to just add in. To what was just said is just start talking to your ideal client more and have real conversations and sell to them one-to-one. And then any holes in your game, they will teach you.
Talking about filling in gaps right now, we're working with a timeline. Josh, I want you to make an offer, to what you can offer all these people that showed up today, also with the networking, leave some of your information. Josh has amazing mastermind skills. As I've gotten to know him, I have been wiped away every Wednesday and Tuesday. He was one of the first people to support me. Also to grow with him all the way from Dubai and I've been following him for about 10 years. I've seen him grow and I'm really excited about all the things that are coming for all my joint ventures, but also the opportunity now that I want to take things with all of us to help our business thrive even more. This hot seat is created for that. People like John are coming in to even challenge the people like Josh. We're growing rapidly. I want us to grow rapidly. I don't want us to waste time. Okay. And a good divine feminine in the mix will heat everybody up, right?
Absolutely.
Keep your fires burning. So yeah, make an offer, Josh, give it out to us now. And this is really great practice. I want you guys to understand what I create. I want to duplicate, but stay with me because I have your back.
Okay. I wasn't planning on making an offer, but now that I am in the hot seat literally, I'll go for it. So when I'm teaching memory techniques and learning, right, we've all kind of seen how easily the world can kind of change very, very quickly. So a lot of people's jobs are unsafe. Your ability to be able to upskill and reskill yourself and learn information is the most important skill that there currently is, right? Your ability to be able to learn and adapt to any given situation comes down to your ability to learn. And your ability to learn comes down to your ability to be able to remember stuff. So with what I do, it's teaching people these skills with memory, with how to learn a lot of stuff very, very, very quickly so that you can look at new information and not be overwhelmed by it. So in terms of what I do, I take people through a process of wherever they're at and what specific skills they're wanting to learn in terms of memory. So if they're trying to learn a course, or if they're trying to remember speeches and presentations without notes, or if they're trying to do articles, books, YouTubes and whatever, I can teach you how to be able to remember that sort of stuff very, very, very easily, right? And it's a lot of fun, actually, surprisingly. I wish I had these techniques back in school, but I don't. I didn't, rather. So, yeah, if you guys are interested in my coaching services or whatever for memory, just hit us up in the network. I'll first session for free and all sorts of stuff. So just send us a message and I'd love to speak to you guys more personally.
Amazing. So ladies and gentlemen, you guys have been amazing young men to show up. Looks like men were more interested in getting the hot seat than women were tonight. This is the first Sunday of the hot seat. Hoping to have John also step in next week. And we want to turn the tables every week. I know the timelines are going to be really, really hard, but the people that I think that are great to lead the hot seat, I want everybody to have a chance to be able to lead with what they're selling if it's something that can help grow your business. So I'll be selective in our group as to who will lead the hot seat. And I'm so grateful for you all. Thank you, Josh, so much for showing up in your Dubai time at 6 a.m.
Of course,
so
thank you so
grateful
much
for
for having me.
Yeah, and Florida
Really enjoyed
time,
this.
now you're what? You're about 11 o'clock, or what time are you, John?
I don't know. We start at 10 my time, so I don't know how long it's been, but yeah, 10:30, 11 probably.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, to me, and I know, Josh, you're an early morning starter, so I'll have this recorded. I want you to have this content. Keep growing, keep loving, keep sharing, get blissed out. It's your girl. See you guys more and more and more.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
It's really, really cool to meet you guys. Appreciate it.
Yes.
You too.
Love and light.
And thank you, Leanne. Thanks for hosting.
You're welcome.